Okay, in this video, I want to talk to you about a very difficult subject in terms of career development. It's more of a obstacle that many people face that they have to overcome, and it's an advantage that many people enjoy that they should recognize in a way. And it's the combination of fit and how fit results in a level of privilege or in some cases disadvantage for some, and then how you overcome if it is indeed a disadvantage or your ability to recognize it once again if it is an advantage. So let's start with the concept of fit. Well, in a separate video, we explain what is fit, and it's basically making yourself understood, establishing some level of commonalities with others, interests, beliefs, and values being the primary categories. And to the extent that you are able to establish these, then once again, you understand someone else, they understand you. There's this level of fit that develops, okay? The recognition or understanding leads to a focus on the commonalities that exist, because not everyone will have commonalities across the board, okay? So that being said, there you go, a level of comfort, a level of fit is established. Now, how does that establish some level of privilege or advantage? Now, in other videos, we talk about what is opportunity and the idea of generation of opportunities. And we talk about things like developing credentials, knowledge, all that type of things. Well, there's an aspect of opportunity that, in terms of career development, means that we depend on other people. That's the reason networking and making connections is so important, okay? But when it comes to the idea of connecting with somebody, becoming close to somebody, helping somebody in a way that creates opportunities for them. We normally do that for people that we fit with. Okay, so to the extent that you don't fit with somebody, it can create a disadvantage for you. But the extent to which you do fit with somebody, it creates an advantage. It creates a privilege. Now, there are some surface level similarities that can create advantage, such as gender, whether you're male or female, race, right, or color, national origin, ethnicity, religion, things like that, protected classes within the workplace. And obviously you cannot, as an employer, in most scenarios, as long as you are covered by the employment laws, you cannot make discriminatory decisions based upon these factors, or the law makes it illegal to do so. But implicit bias is the concept that we have these biases there for people who are more similar to us. And when we have that on the surface level, on things like sex, gender, national origin, religion, things like that, that are protected classes, it creates a bias there that's subconscious. We don't necessarily realize it's there, but it is there, and it affects the way we act in our decision making and things like that. So it can create a disadvantage, or it can create an advantage for people who are more similar to us. Even on surface level stuff like how we talk, our accent, right? The interest that we have that are strongly connected to a given a given nationality or race or gender or something like that. Once again, we don't realize we're preferring someone that has such a heavy impact upon, once again, their surface level or demographic characteristics, but it's there. Okay, so what you end up with is, for some people, for many people, a need to overcome implicit bias, right? The sense that people gravitate towards people that are so similar to them. And the way you do it is through the recognition of what makes up fit. Once again, the commonality of understanding in terms of interests, beliefs, and values. And so you have to practice and take it upon yourself to develop the ability to express yourself well, to read others well, to have the conversations that focus upon and allow the other person to recognize the commonalities that exist. Okay, and in separate videos we talk about one-on-one networking and techniques there of basically of how you have a conversation with someone, how you exchange information to feel like you're listening to them, but they're reciprocating and you're being heard as well. So I highly recommend that video or that video series on that point, because to some extent, yes, it's useful for networking, but also, once again, establishing fit with others goes so far in terms of creating opportunities, because if nothing else, it overcomes that tendency there of implicit bias, the tendency to favor someone over another. When, like I say, if you can establish a level of fit there, then all of a sudden the bias goes away, right? The belief or stereotype or something that's there about somebody who is different than them, all of a sudden the individual who is in a decision-making position starts to recognize that it's the commonalities there that are most important, and that the individual, even though they're different, will fit well within the organization, okay? And sometimes I use the term reverse privilege to focus on just the aspect that if somebody is different, if you can demonstrate the value of that difference, right? If you can show or make somebody appreciate or understand how the uniqueness of your understanding, your beliefs, your interest, your experience, your exposure, the thought processes, the ideas that you bring to the table are extremely useful, even if you don't have a lot of commonalities there, even if you do not have the ability to assimilate towards the greater, or do not desire to assimilate to the greater level of commonalities that exist within the organization. Once again, you can show why your uniqueness is so valuable. Now, in many ways, some of the primary areas of the discrimination that have been there between men and women, right, male and female, and based upon race, particularly African Americans in the workforce, societal emphasis on the gravity and nature of this long-standing prejudice has made many organizations recognize, look, we do not have a great deal of diversity in terms of race and gender. We need to focus on them very hard. And within the organization, the equal opportunity classes, the training, the just recognition of this has brought leaders in the organization to the understanding that this diversity is valuable, okay? That we need this. So in that way, you've got a reverse privilege. That is, your uniqueness, your difference from others in the organization does give you some level of advantage in terms of, okay, now I can show that I fit in that category of value, that I bring novel, unique experiences. I don't have the same background. I don't have the same education. I'm not the same gender or same ethnicity or race as the other people. But nonetheless, there's already some level of recognition there of the value of diversity. So once again, to take advantage of that. Okay, so once again, what would otherwise be a disadvantage can be reversed into a privilege for you in terms of, once again, showing your value to the organization and achieving whatever it is in terms of landing a job, career promotion, that type of thing. So that's how fit, privilege, and aspects of overcoming that work together in terms of career development.